Hey everybody, this is JP Hunt with InkSoft, and in this video I'm going to share a super simple marketing tip and technique that is going to help you stand out in a customer's email inbox. So like most consumers, you're probably bombarded by tons of spam and noise in your email inbox. So how do you stand out amongst all of that clutter? Well, by adding a custom emoji to an email signature and by adding an animated GIF in the email body itself, that's a great way to garner attention. And of course, that's a key principle of marketing, is getting attention and of course getting folks to take the action that you want. And I think these are two simple techniques to achieving that. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the mechanics of adding a custom emoji and that animated GIF. But let's start with the end result, which is right before you on screen. So here's an InkSoft proposal that I sent to myself. And you can see the email subject says, "A custom proposal just for you." And there's a wave emoji. And you can see in the email body, you have an animated GIF. So the animated GIF is a great way to communicate a little bit of humor and maybe reflect your personality, humanize you and your business. I do want to signal that you need to know your audience and you need to be aware of who you're sending an invoice or an art approval or a sales presentation to, because it might be inappropriate in some circumstances to add an emoji or add an animated GIF. So just be mindful. This isn't an all-purpose technique. You really need to know your audience before you choose to take advantage of this. Now, let's jump to the next part of the tutorial, and that's on how to add an emoji and an animated GIF into an email. So specifically, I'm going to focus on adding the value that I'm presenting in an invoice, art approval, or sales presentation that we call a proposal inside of InkSoft Proposals. Because this is the one part of InkSoft where you're sending something to a consumer to get them to take action that you need to complete the sales process. And that's unique compared to the online designer or online stores where you're waiting for consumers to come to you to transact. This is more of the push versus pull. So that said, when I navigate to proposals in InkSoft, from the left-hand sidebar, if I click proposals, I can then click preferences. And if you scroll down to the bottom, this is where you can configure the default email message. So you can configure a standard, a best practice email subject and email body. I do want to point out that for each invoice, art approval, or proposal that you send, you can override that. So you can customize this per instance, but you can have a default that will always exist when you do go to send. So with that said, you'll notice the email subject, I've pasted in a wave emoji, and you can see in the email body, I've pasted in an animated GIF. So let me share with you the two tools and resources that you should bookmark and use to find emojis and to find animated GIFs. So let's talk about the first one, which is Emojipedia. So this is a searchable database of emojis. So you can either search by entering a query here, or you can click a category, doesn't matter. Once you select an emoji, you'll notice there's an option to copy. So once I copy that to my clipboard, you have the ability to then paste that back into an email subject. Now, a few quick tips. You might be tempted to add a ton of emojis. So be mindful that you don't want to appear to be a spammer by maybe abusing emojis. So be mindful to keep it sort of less is more in this case. Now I also want to toggle now to another tool called Tenor. So you might want to bookmark both of these solutions so they're at your disposal. Just like Emojipedia, I can use Tenor to search for an appropriate GIF. Once I find a GIF from my search results, I have the ability to then right mouse click and copy the image, and I can paste that back in the default email body. All right, so let's advance this tutorial. So of course, once I've created an invoice, a proposal, a sales presentation, art approval, again, we use all of this interchangeably, what I can do is click the send proposal icon, which will allow me to transmit or send this to my consumer as an approval, which is, again, sort of more of a sales presentation experience, or I can send as an invoice, which will act as an online invoice, pretty traditional. No matter which you choose, you'll be prompted with your default email subject and your default email body. Now here's where I can override for each and every unique instance. So every time I create one of these, I can override entirely. I can remove the emoji and replace that with a different one. I could modify the email subject altogether. In this case, I still had on my clipboard the smile emoji. So you can see I nuked by backspacing the wave emoji and I just pasted in the smiley face. And again, I could do the same for the the animated GIF. I can choose to remove that altogether just by clearing that out and pasting in a different one. I can modify the messaging. So I could put in, "Hey, Coach Stevenson," and put in customized messaging that would be personalized and specific to that particular client. And I do want to point out, probably the most value in sending an email and standing out is the message. So it's going to be the email subject. It's going to be the content that's in the email body. So make it clear, make it simple. Again, less is more, and make it personalized. Consider in the email subject to say, "Hey, Coach, I need your attention." And then in the email body saying, "Hey, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to service your group needs. We think we nailed it with this proposal. You'll notice that we presented our favorite products that are trending. We think they'll be a home run. Let us know what you think." So again, it's reflecting that you understand their needs, the opportunity. It's just a great way to add a little extra value, and it takes seconds to achieve that. Alrighty, well, we hope that this has been a helpful and useful tutorial. If you have questions, if you have insights or maybe experience that relates to this topic that you'd like to share, well, please, let's start some communication on the InkSoft Facebook group. At the same time, you can send feedback directly to me, jp@inksoft.com. I'd also love to hear about maybe any other marketing challenges that you're encountering, and we can simply create some training resources that might help you to be a more effective marketer. Well, thanks for tuning in, and love to hear your feedback.